You can hear the atmosphere here at Old Trafford as the teams make their way out onto the hallowed turf here at Old Trafford. Everton, as we mentioned, still looking over their shoulder at the relegation places. On the other hand, plenty of positivity around Old Trafford in terms of off-the-pitch matters anyway, and probably for the first time in a long time as well. On the pitch, it is a slightly different matter for Manchester United, and 3 points today would be a huge boost for their European hopes. A win for both teams today feels absolutely vital. The Slow Horses actor and Manchester United fan Gary Oldman is here and will be hoping his side are fast out of the traps. Ahead of Cheltenham next week, we have our very own Corto star and Denman, also known as Alan Pardew and Sam Matterface, in place. Best mates? Too many horse references? Sit back and enjoy the commentary.
Well, as the Chancellor found out this week, no matter which way you look at the numbers, the outlook appears bleak. Manchester United's downturn has seen them lose more league games at this stage than at any other season since 89-90. They've scored just 37 goals, which is the same as Luton, and 33% has been wiped off their value in the stock market in the 6 weeks since the partial takeover. They have been worried by the R word for some time at Old Trafford. They are already in regression. Another R word is haunting Everton, and not just because of the threat of further deductions from their take-home. They are one of only 6 teams that have scored fewer goals than Manchester United in the Premier League this year. They hold the lowest shot conversion rate, and they've not won a game in 2024. In fact, it is their worst run in the Premier League for 30 years. Sean Dyche may benefit from a little bit of credit in the bank, but Erik ten Hag is running out of currency. Time needs to be called on the spin. Both need a win. Here are the two teams. Onana is the goalkeeper. A back four of Dalot, Varane, Evans and Lindelof for Manchester United, who are unchanged from the derby. It's Mainu and Casemiro holding, and then McTominay playing behind. Garnacho, Rashford and Fernandes is playing as sort of a floating false 9. Everton, Pickford in goal, Godfrey, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikalenko, Garner and Onana, Harrison, Doucouré and McNeil behind Beto in attack. Well, what a weekend we've got for you. There's just 10 to go in the Championship. Last night on Talksport 2, Leeds beat Sheffield Wednesday by 2-0. They snuggle up alongside Leicester City on 81 points. Right now, Ipswich and Cardiff about to start. Ipswich, they can get up to that number as well with a victory. And tomorrow we've got Huddersfield against West Bromwich Albion. The Talksport network is where titles are decided, but we also concentrate on the old money that need propping up, which is why we are bringing you Manchester United against Everton only on Talksport. And the first act of the day is for the captain of Everton, Jordan Pickford, to turn everybody around and make Manchester United play in front of the Stretford end early on, and they're not happy about that, Alan.
No, he unsettled the locals. That's nothing wrong with that as an opposing. But an interesting game today. I mean, you set it up nicely. You didn't make it sound like we're going to get many goals, by the way. You know, worst record here, worst record there.
Let's hope the stats are wrong, yeah?
Okay.
Simon Hooper is the referee, and our VAR today is David Coote. Manchester United, red shirts, white shorts, black socks, attacking the goal away to our left, the Stretford end in the first half. It's all blue for Everton, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. Manchester United will have to be more progressive and open than they were in the first half against their city rivals 6 days ago, and they need to arrest the slide. They've lost the last 2. The last manager to lose 3 Premier League games in the same season in a row was Louis van Gaal 9 years ago, and Ten Hag doesn't want to emulate that. Ball gone back towards the Manchester United penalty area, and the press is on from Everton, and they've won it high up very quickly. Beto tries to swing it into the box down the right side. It's prodded away by Lindelof, but it's Everton who are quickest to it, and Garner used to be a Manchester United boy, trying to jink his way through, but he runs into Varane, and eventually they smuggle the ball out towards the right-hand side with Diogo Dalot, who leaves it for Garnacho on the halfway line, away to our right-hand side, and the misty, moist air of the Manchester morning. The afternoon has just started to look a little bit more spring-like. There's a few blue spaces emerging from a load of fluffy light grey clouds that are above our heads here in Manchester.
I'll tell you what, it's Manchester cold. It's freezing. But, you know, I can't understand. You're starting a Premier League game and Man United messing around.
Here is McNeil getting it back off Garner to the edge of the area. Another one who was on Manchester United's books when he was a kid, McNeil. Sends the cross into the centre. It's blocked by Casemiro. Goes behind for the first corner of the game, and it's an Everton one. And Everton has started much the brighter. Alan Pardew.
Yeah, you know, it's a morning game. And, you know, and players are much fresher for this kind of kickoff. And to start playing around your box like that, Man United, after being beat 3-1 by Man City, I don't know what they're doing. They're just putting the ball at risk. And Everton not really created anything. They just exploited the Man United errors so far and have a corner.
Well, Everton will attack from wide areas and set pieces. They are very good delivering from those sort of zones. And the ball has been drifted in by Garner towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Evans was alert to it, heads it away. Goes out on the edge of the box, and Garnacho trying to escape, but McNeil is there. He'll go back towards Garner, and then McNeil will toss it into the box, and attacking it was Onana, and it comes down to Godfrey. It's spilled by the goalkeeper and just about gets there, and Godfrey didn't get enough on it. It's a golden chance for Everton to take the lead. 2 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock. A left-footed cross from the wide area by McNeil from the wide left in towards Onana and Godfrey, and neither of them could make the most of it. And the Cameroon international Andre Onana spares United's blushes.
Well, you know, that was a fantastic chance for Everton to take the lead, and that just sums Everton up, doesn't it? Those chances. That's right in the middle of the goal. He's got a free header. He hasn't come. It's kind of come to him at an awkward height, and he hasn't got anything on it, and it's just drilled into the goal. His hands. Very, very fortunate for United to give it away again.
On the edge of the area, and it's won by Doucouré, headed away by Casemiro. Manchester United knock it out of their own half currently, and they have the ball now on the halfway line. They need to move it a little bit quicker. Manchester United coming forward now over on that far side, the right, with Garnacho, who gets towards the midpoint of the Everton half of the field in front of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, and then Kobbie Mainoo sends it back to halfway. It's 0-0 on Talksport, but Everton have had the best chance after 3 minutes here.
Yeah, United just getting a few passes in now, but Everton definitely up for the task. You can tell that there's a certain kind of ambition about them, particularly in closing down. And United need to be so much more careful in possession. Very edgy.
Well, Everton are 10 matches without a win, but their problems have been pretty clear. They've conceded far too many late goals, and the ability to put the ball in the net seems to have deserted them. Sean Dyche was in good spirits when he was in the tunnel earlier on. I spent so much time in the tunnel. I think I spoke to every single member of the squad from both teams, actually, and the coaching staff. But Sean Dyche was in good spirits.
They all want to know you. That's
yeah,
right.
Stop it. Onana gets it inside the 18-yard box away to our right-hand side. Alan Pardew with us today. And the ball is clipped long through the middle of the pitch, headed away by Branthwaite, collected now by Fernandes, who's in the middle of the Everton half, out wide toward the right side, just inside the inside right channel. Garnacho on the overlap is Dalot into the area. He just was a little bit behind him there, and he tried to check back in, and that allowed Mykolenko and Onana to get back and clear it from inside the box, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, it's a poor header from Braithwaite there. You know, it's a big kick down the pitch, and I hate centre-halves who just drop it in the midfield. Fernandes picked it up, and they almost had an attack out of it, come down the right side, but as you say, he wasn't really put in front of the fullback, and he couldn't get across him. So Everton survived that, but Everton, Man United still pushing.
Yep, and Fernandes trying to get the wrong side of Onana, who dives in with one of his long pipe cleaner legs and drags the ball back for Everton and moves it upfield. It's collected and sent out to the right by Beto, and then Doucouré into the centre, and springing out to the edge of his 6-yard box to collect the cross was Onana, and Manchester United now turn it forward again. But Everton do look like a threat. They don't look like a team that don't score very many goals, do they? They carry such a threat coming forward, and they're doing that again with McNeil, who's robbed the ball left side, tries to feed it to the edge of the box. Evans has to take emergency action, and the ball's out on the far side for a throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, United need to be alert. They keep turning the ball over, and you know, at this level you can't turn the ball over like that. And about 3 or 4 times now they put themselves in real pressure. They've done it again.
It's gone back towards Dalot, and he's had to tuck it behind, and it's out for a corner kick over on the far side. The noise you can hear is mainly coming from the Everton fans away to our right-hand side. They're in fine voice.
Yeah, they are. And they're just replicating their team at the moment. Definitely the team in ascendancy is Everton.
This is a must-win for Manchester United. It's a must-win for Everton. Both teams' predicaments, obviously at different ends of the table, but both teams feel the urgency to get 3 points. Here is the corner in front of the scoreboard end. It's not a great delivery. It's cleared away up towards halfway, and now Mikalenko sends it back down the right, where it's with Harrison, who's spotted the run of Branthwaite into Beto in the centre. Varane had to react quickly. The offside flag is up anyway, but Manchester United play on because Rashford, running in behind, has got the better of Harrison. Into the box he goes. He's into the area on his right foot, then back on his left, tries to turn. Harrison with a brilliant tackle. Absolutely sensational. Well timed, had to be expertly delivered, and he slid in on the edge of the 6-yard box as Rashford weaved one way, then the other, threatened to get his shot away, and just before he pulled the trigger in front of Pickford, Harrison dived in and prodded it out for a corner.
Well, you know, when you leave a wide player back, it's usually because they've got great defensive abilities, because all your big guys are in the box on a corner, and Harrison there has got him out of jail. Brilliant bit of defending, as you say, because Rashford was just about to pull the trigger with that left foot.
What an opportunity that was for Manchester United to race away at the other end after being under the cosh for the first 7 minutes. They have a corner into the near post, and it's a free header which is glanced by Varane towards goal, and he really had got himself away from absolutely everyone. Burst towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Casemiro dived in front of him, glanced the ball towards the far post, and Casemiro's header was gloved by Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, it was a good block actually. It was a good set play. Worked out to get a block in and get a block and a free header for Varane, but it actually went straight to the keeper's hands, which made it life a lot easier for Everton to defend.
It was a foul by Varane on Branthwaite, which meant that it probably wouldn't have counted anyway, but the idea was certainly right from Manchester United, who have to be alert from set pieces, both offensive and defensive today. United 19 points off the top, and 11 points behind fourth placed Aston Villa, leaving them in a rather difficult spot really to challenge to try and qualify for the Champions League. I think that's probably beyond them with 11 matches remaining. It certainly won't be if they don't win here today. Mainu striding forward, engaged by Tarkowski, edge of the centre circle, and it was a little bit too physical from James Tarkowski, and a free kick is given in the middle of the centre circle in the United half of the field.
Yeah, Manu's got that tremendous acceleration, that young players with real agility have. He perhaps could have turned that ball over, but he was so fast. He just got there, towed it away, and drew the foul.
That was in the middle of the park. Kobbie Mainoo, who won their Premier League Young Player of the Month for February, and he's been pretty impressive actually since he coming into the team. His first ever Premier League start was against Everton in November. This is his 12th start in a row now for Manchester United. He is only 18 years of age. Casemiro up to Fernandes, halfway line, back to goal, turns it into Scott McTominay, who then works it wide. Marcus Rashford is on the left. He's now joined by Garnacho into the area. He's tripped, goes down, penalty. Tarkowski gave it away. Garnacho's quick feet, too quick for Tarkowski, who just seemed to toe end the feet of the Argentinian away from underneath him, and immediately Simon Hooper pointed to the spot.
It was an awful challenge, really. Garnacho's come off the other side, i.e. from the other wing, to come and join Rashford. So they got an overload. He's ended up with the centre half down the side of the box, and he's embarrassed him, really. He's just quick feet, pulled it back, and Tarkowski took his legs away. It looked a bang-on penalty. I think he knew straight away.
Yeah, he hardly appealed because he knew it was a blatant penalty. There's no doubt about it. It was definitely a foul. It's definitely going to be a penalty kick, and it's definitely going to be Bruno Fernandes who takes it. They've scored 6 of their last 7 penalties, Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes did have one saved against Chelsea in December, and we know Jordan Pickford is excellent at stopping penalties. Away to our left-hand side, his 30th birthday just recently celebrated. Jordan Pickford on Thursday. How he would love to deny the Manchester United captain here. It does say VAR check in progress here, but I can't think for 1 minute that is
possible offside.
It's going to be for the foul. It would only be for the offside, although it looks the way things are going that check is over pretty quickly, and Bruno Fernandes is lining up to take this penalty. Simon Hooper is just making sure that everybody is outside of the area. Jordan Pickford standing on his line, bright orange boots, green goalkeeping top, Fernandes, the captain of the team, with 10 first-team absences today, Manchester United. He steps up, right-footed, sends it into the bottom corner, and Manchester United's patched-up team hit the front after just 12 minutes of the game at Old Trafford, in front of the Stretford end. He stepped up right-footed, he put it in the corner, it was unreachable. Manchester United celebrate in front of their supporters. They've been under the cosh for the early part of the game, but they have taken the lead, and the captain's got the goal. It's Manchester United 1, Everton 0.
Fantastic for United. Sean is going absolutely mental down there about something in his team. I'm not sure what he's so upset about, a missed challenge or something that went on before the penalty maybe, but he's infuriated, and he must be, because his team have started so well, and to give a sloppy penalty away like that with that challenge and find themselves 1-0 down, but he can't believe it. But Man United, for them, they have the lead.
That's a good penalty from Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
very accurate.
Yeah.
And into the corner. And
Jordan went the right way.
He did. He got so close to it, but it was just too far in the corner and hit with the requisite venom. Pickford was very unhappy with James Tarkowski. He gave him an absolute rollicking straight after that penalty went in. It was a sloppy challenge, a silly challenge. Here's McNeil for Everton looking to respond. Edge of the area, left-hand side. He's got space for Mikalenko's on the overlap. He sends a cross into the centre. It comes into the area, it's headed away by McTominay. Falls for McNeil, volleys it! Oh, narrowly wide of the right-hand upright. And that was a great chance, because they went straight on the offensive down the left. McNeil feeding Mikalenko's first cross was repelled. It went back into the box, it was headed clear, straight at the feet of McNeil, and as it went towards goal, well, Onana just stood there and watched it sail past the post. And
it could so easily have rippled the net. It was a great hit. And all that pessimism at the start we had about lack of goals, we look like we're going to have loads of goals. There's chances galore.
We've only had one so far, 13 minutes gone, Manchester United 1, Everton 0, but Everton on the attack again. I swear it was a Manchester United goal kick just seconds ago. The ball elevated through the penalty area, goes over the top of the goal and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. It's been a fast start to the game. Yeah,
and it's weird really. Man United taking so many risks at the back, putting the ball at risk. Everton are turning it over, getting chances, getting corners, and just that one direct ball from the back called them out, and they find themselves 1-0 down, Everton.
Well, Everton haven't got a great record when conceding first. They haven't won any of the 12 games that they have conceded the first goal in this season, which is not great.
Stat. No, that's a stat you do not need around your team.
What does it say? Does it say that there's a lack of character? It's a lack of goals, which is the big problem, isn't it?
Of course.
Scoring one goal is a problem for Everton. Scoring two is almost nigh on impossible.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you're not scoring goals and you go behind, how are you going to get back in the game? It affects the confidence in everything that you do.
Lindelof wrestling with Harrison, comes away with the ball. The referee blows the whistle, says that was a foul. And a free kick is given on this near side. A smidgen of sunlight comes out over the top of the Stretford end and basks 3/4 of the stadium in a little bit of warmth over on the far side, but not Alan Pardew, still very much wrapped up in all his gear today.
It's not Surrey weather here.
Listen, I told you, you should come up here more often and spend some time with us Northerners. It's great. Here is Branthwaite, edge of the area. Onana out towards the left-hand side. He strides forward into the midpoint of the Everton half, and then plays a lovely ball to Beto, but Beto, I think, was about a yard or so offside. Certainly the assistant on this near side, Adrian Holmes, was pretty clear about that. He thought it was definitely an offside, and I think just having a quick glance at the monitor in front of me, I would probably concur with that.
Yeah, and that's a good channel, because Johnny Evans down that side will get exposed with a little bit of pace, and that ball in behind him, I think we'll see that more than once today for sure.
Everton have had a lot of the play in the early part of the game, Alan, but they are, Manchester United, capable of those moments, those little off-the-cuff explosions of magic. For most of the season, trips to Old Trafford have been disappointing for the home fans. 8 defeats here already. One more and it will equal the number they suffered when they were relegated in 1974. But they're in no mood to surrender this lead, and Mainu is going down the right-hand side. Branthwaite is in no mood to let him go any further. He slides in beautifully, wins the ball back, And Manchester United then clear it from halfway. Lindelof gets there ahead of Harrison, chested down by Fernandes far side. 1-0 to United after 16 minutes here at Old Trafford. And the atmosphere much better amongst the Manchester United fans since that goal went in just a few minutes ago. Varane strides forward. He elevates the ball through the middle, out towards the right, gets lucky to find Garnacho, into Fernandes. And he gets right underneath it, digs it high over the top of the crossbar away to our left. That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's one of those passes that deceives everyone because it wasn't meant to go where it went. He was trying to find a striker and it ended up finding the right wing from Varane. But it created an opportunity and Fernandes had a chance to get his second goal. So, you know, this chance is being created both ends in different ways, really.
Well, that ball out towards the right-hand side by Varane, it was a shank, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
To play it that way.
Like my Golf 7 iron, man.
It went to its intended target, and sometimes when that happens, even on the golf course, you say, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I meant that.
Of course I did, yeah.
Bit of draw on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball's on the far side with Everton, who trail here by a goal to nil. Into Better, back to goal. He turns and funnels it back into the path of Tarkowski. Later on, we're going round the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30 this afternoon. And we'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in. Remember, Cardiff against Ipswich is live right now over on Talksport 2 with Nigel Adderley and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Doucouré trying to feed McNeil. One back by Manchester United. And then McTominay has spotted the run of Rashford, who's going to be sent a little bit too wide and too close to Jordan Pickford, who picks the ball up right on the perimeter of his penalty area. And it is cleared away. Aberdeen against Kilmarnock underway at 12:15. And so were the Women's FA Cup quarter-finals today. Liverpool and Leicester involved in that. I'll give you the latest scorelines in just a few moments here on Talksport. We're concentrating on Everton's trip to Manchester United, where currently United lead by a goal to nil.
Good play.
And Everton playing the ball out from the back sufficiently to get it forward on this right-hand side. Collected by Godfrey. Godfrey sends it into the centre. Collected now and played in towards Garner. Back to Godfrey again. Then back to Onana. Onana gets it forward. And then all the way back to the edge of the penalty area where Jordan Pickford is waiting.
And nice to see Rashford do a 75-yard recovery run there with a bit of purpose. That's what the people want to see from him.
Here comes Harrison shooting from the edge of the D after being fed from the left by McNeil. Again, he got too much air underneath that ball and it went steaming over the top of the crossbar, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. I'll tell you that in the Women's FA Cup, Liverpool behind against Leicester by a goal to nil. Leicester have had a bit of a bad week, really. Their manager has been suspended. Rantala with the goal after just 15 minutes at Prenton Park. And Leicester lead by a goal to nil. They're coming up to half-time in that game. Cardiff nil, Ipswich nil is the latest.
It's interesting to see Johnny Evans. I know Johnny Evans because I managed him at West Brom. He's a terrific lad and great leader on the pitch. And he's having a real moan up about his midfield. There's obviously that connection is so important between your centre-backs and your midfield too. And he's unhappy, I think, with the coverage in that last attack where there was no pressure on Harrison on that shot.
Here come United again, away to our left-hand side. Kilmarnock go 2-0 down against Aberdeen. Aberdeen have a terrible time at this moment. But McGrath and Graham Shinney have scored 2 goals in the first half an hour to give Aberdeen the lead in that Scottish Cup. Here is McNeil on the halfway line. There was a little incident off the ball involving Johnny Evans. He's down, and United a bit misshapen here as McNeil comes forward over on the left-hand side. Beto's continued into the box. Evans now getting back up and into the air as the cross comes in from the wide left from McNeil. It bounces off the back of Dallow, and it goes out of play. And then the referee now just checking to see whether or not there was something significant from Beto here, whether it was an elbow into the face of Johnny Evans, who is holding his hooter away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, Johnny Evans has got where a striker making a mark on him. Let's put it that way. That is what it used to be called in the old days. I don't think there was too much in it. He just left an arm in and said hello.
Yeah, there was not much in that at all, and the referee and the VAR have had their conflab and they've decided that there was nothing in it. Manchester United, not the most prolific themselves, have already breached a Everton defence. It'd be interesting to see what you think of Jared Branthwaite's performance today. He's widely touted to possibly be in the next England squad Left-sided centre-half is huge.
He is huge.
Widely linked with Manchester United and Real Madrid. Ball in towards the near post by McNeil as Everton come forward, away to our right in front of the scoreboard end. Manchester United, who lead through that Bruno Fernandes penalty, try to get it clear, but don't really, do they? They're struggling a little bit with that. And again, Casemiro playing it behind Lindelof this time into the left fullback position. Lindelof eventually finding Rashford, and then Varane playing a poor ball, which is snaffled up by Harrison, and now a chance for Garner to get it in the box. Rashford puts it out on this near side, and Manchester United inviting a little bit too much pressure.
Yeah, and if Everton just showed a little bit more quality like there, they've won it back in a great area, and they've just smashed the cross in or tried to put a cross in. There's another one just come in with actually a much better ball, but you know, sometimes you've got to create the chance, just get an extra pass in. There's opportunities for Everton.
It's in towards Harrison inside the area. The cross came in from that wide left pass in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and as it was fired back in, Harrison escaped his marker. McNeil had picked out a beautiful delivery into the box, and Varane just sort of allowed the ball to come across. I don't think he was entirely certain of Harrison's positioning there, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick.
I mean, Varane's been edgy all game for me. He made a few errors in this game. But, you know, when you've got your two central midfields, Casemiro and Manu, so close to the back four, there's no room for pass. There's no, and they keep putting it at risk with little tiny passes in that last third and getting caught out. It's not like Everton are creating or controlling the game. They just keep winning the ball back from United today.
You're listening to Manchester United 1, Everton 0 on Talksport with Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Arsenal versus Brentford live today, no contract, with a Now membership. Search Now Sports. This is Talksport. Ball on the near side with Tarkowski, who gave away the penalty from which Manchester United have their lead. It's on halfway. Varane pinches it from Decore, but it's very quickly won back by Everton, and Beto now leads the charge down the right. He sends a big, huge cross towards the far edge of the penalty area. When McNeil picks it up, sends it to Mikalenko. His strike is blocked by Casemiro, spirals high into the air and behind and away for yet another corner for Everton. They'll be lucky to get away with a clean sheet here, Manchester United.
They will. And you can almost tell in the crowd, they're sort of like, oh no, another mistake. And it's almost like, oh God, you know, there's nothing settled about this performance from Man United. They have the lead, but it's not like a performance where you would go, they're in control here. They're not in control, far from it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of central defenders sitting about 6 or 7 seats away from us who Manchester United would quite like in their back line at this moment in time, as the ball goes in towards the far post. Too high for Tarkowski, who's leaning backwards as he tries to head it, and it goes over the bar and away for a goal kick away to our right. Gary Pallister down there, away to our left.
He wasn't bad, was he?
Harry Maguire is sitting 2 seats behind him.
Yeah, decent pairing there.
Goal kick for Manchester United, who lead thanks to that Fernandes penalty.
Here we go.
Short into Onana, then Mainu plays it at the wide right position, puts Evans under all sorts of problems, but they get away with it again up to halfway and then give it away. Given back to Garner, into a 1-2 to Onana, and then Garner strikes. It's saved down to his left by Onana, comes back to Onana again, and he fires it through the middle of the penalty area and only narrowly over the top, and it's another chance for Everton, and they still yet to breach Onana's goal, but they are certainly knocking at the door here, and Manchester United far too casual playing out from the back and not really good enough to be able to do it.
They're just too close to each other. That's what I'm saying to you. Those two central midfield players, one of them needs to get up the pitch and create some space. Because at the minute, if you're a central midfielder for Everton, you just get right up tight against them and nick it. And that's what they're doing. Time and time again. Poor old Sean, I know his coaches are saying to him, how have we not scored, Gaffer? How have we not scored? You know, they probably can't believe it. They've had 3 or 4 really good chances today.
Still, it's Manchester United who lead by a goal to 0. We play 25 minutes here at Old Trafford today. Ball out on the edge of the centre circle with James Tarkowski of Everton. Sent to Godfrey, bends it round the corner for Beto to chase, and then Onana allows that to go out for a goal kick. Although if I was a Manchester United player at this moment in time, the last thing I'd want is a goal kick, because that's from where they seem to be giving Everton the most chances.
Absolutely, and this is you can see the setup. Your 2 centre backs and 2 central midfielders, like 10 yards between them. There's no distance to play.
Onana's pinged this one forward instead, looking for Rashford. It's in behind, it's gone over the head of Godfrey, who's misjudged it, and running behind him was Garnacho. He's retrieved it, got to the edge of the area, cut back in on his right foot. He's going to try and bend it towards goal. It's blocked by Tarkowski. Still Manchester United have it on the edge of the area. There was a foul there on Garnacho, who's gone down right on the edge of the D, and he's won a free kick just left of centre for Manchester United. Again, that was a pass by Onana, which didn't go where it was supposed to go, but it came off for Manchester United.
Yeah, Garnacho come off the side again. He's come off that right-hand side all the way across the pitch and picked it up in exactly the same position where he got the penalty. This time they were a little bit more patient, the defensive side, and he cut him inside and he's actually hit an Everton player. But unfortunately for Everton, they've conceded a free kick in a fantastic position for Rashford. I mean, you know, if you was going to look at a position for Fernandes and Rashford to look at something, 3-4 yards from the edge of the box, just left of centre, it's perfect.
Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 1 in the Scottish Cup quarter-finals.
Is that Neil Warnock?
It is Neil Warnock, yes.
He's up there, the end of the earth
now.
He's up at the end.
It's a great place, actually, Aberdeen.
Yeah, nice city. Cold.
Stop moaning about the cold.
Not for me.
Fernandes has the free kick. Maybe it'll be Rashford, both of them standing over it. It's going to be Fernandes who strikes it. Saved by Pickford brilliantly with his top hand. Left hand up high in the air to stop it from sneaking in the top corner. Beautifully weighted free kick from Fernandes. Stepped up right-footed over the wall towards the far corner. Maybe a little bit too central, but Pickford went up and his top hand did the work.
Well, there's your moment of world class. That's what Premier League's all about. A fantastic free kick and an even better save. I know it wasn't right in the corner, but that is some leap. And he's had to change hands mid-flight to catch that. That's fantastic.
That looks, from the camera angle behind, we've just had the ability to see it, as a sensational save.
Yeah, that's going in Pickford's YouTube top 10, that one.
Has he got a YouTube top 10?
Yeah, or a TikTok. He'll be a TikTok in that.
Yes, I'm sure it will. Yeah. Here is Dalot. That's a clippable moment, let's put it that way. Garnacho taking it in from the right-hand side. We've played 28 minutes on Talksport, and it's still Manchester United who lead by a goal to nil. Rashford going down the left, trying to get there ahead of Godfrey. Mainu wins it in the middle of the park. He's turning away from both Doucouré and Onana. The suggestion of a foul, the referee says no, and Everton break as a result. Over the halfway line with McNeil, scurrying at pace towards the far side. He then looks to take on Dalot, beats him, gets even further up the pitch over on that left-hand side, then centres the ball, but only finds Evans. And then Manchester United look to weave their way out from the back, and Evans picks it up, strides forward into midfield, plays it to Garnacho, loves to get across his body and then pokes it further wide onto Rashford, who has to stop the ball, then runs centrally, looks up, going to switch the play here with a bending ball out to Fernandes. It was delicious. He takes it down well. McTominay joining the attack. Mainu coming in, and Branthwaite got there first, but the offside flag went up anyway against McTominay, and it's going to be a free kick inside the box away to our left. But it was a lovely ball by Rashford, wasn't it?
No, that was a fantastic move by Man United. Johnny Evans done well, actually. He won the ball and then stepped into midfield.
Yeah.
Played the ball out to this side, and Garnacho again running off that side. Nice to see that wide player coming off the side as often as he is, and he's actually been a real, thorn in the side for Everton tonight. Garnacho coming off there, and that created a moment for Rashford to ping the ball out to the fullback. It was a great move, and it was unlucky.
And what that does is, because he naturally wants to play on the left-hand side, he obviously gravitates that way, Garnacho. He will stick out on the right when necessary, but he'll come into that central area, and then that allows Fernandes, who's got a bit of a free roll, to go out towards the right-hand side and create space in that vacated area where Garnacho has left.
And there's that ball again down Johnny Evans' side. He got caught there by Beto's pace.
He did. Here is McNeil picking it up and travelling towards the edge of the box. A left-footed drive towards the far corner, and actually it wasn't too far away from skimming the post. It was a bit of a daisy cutter, and Onana just stood there and looked at it as it flashed past him. It went for about 6 players and emerged the other side unscathed and just flicked past the post, and that was another big chance for Everton.
And a daisy cutter from 1960s, that is, daisy cutter. Not heard that for years. Oof, that's close.
Well, they lost to West Ham Everton when they shouldn't have done last week. They were so wasteful with chances. Beto missed the penalty. Areola, the goalkeeper for West Ham, was brilliant. They had 22 shots, half of those on target, an XG of 2.7 overall, but in a familiar trend this season, they came away from the game with nothing to show for it.
Well, it's definitely been replicated here, them sort of stats, because they've had so many chances today. You know, not particularly brilliant. I would say one very, very good chance, but, 4 or 5 half chances. Very good.
Well, so far in the game, they've racked up an expected goals total of 0.95 and yet to get on the score sheet. 47% of the ball. They've had 8 goal attempts, 2 on target. Manchester United 6 goal attempts, 3 on target, but one of those was the penalty, from which they lead by a 1-0 on Talksport. And we are live at Old Trafford, a sunny Old Trafford, as Casemiro swishes the ball forward looking for McTominay, who gets there after a mistake by Branthwaite. Fernandes sends it wide. Dalot with a cross into the box, too heavy. Goes over the head of Manu, who was bursting to get into the penalty area, and then Rashford has to retrieve it left side, and then he tickles his way to the edge of the box, feeds Lindelof, sets it back for Casemiro, encouraged to shoot but he won't. He'll pop it to the right, and the line boots of Fernandes. He sends it on into Dalot once again. Now Casemiro elevating it for Fernandes to get there in behind the defender. There was a bit of a mishap and Pickford came out, and there was a real melee. Was there a handball from Mykolenko as he landed on the ball? Simon Hooper says no. The ball dropped. Well, the arm went out. What was he doing?
It was a strange. I don't know if he stumbled or something, but he kind of fell on the ball. I think his arm has hit it by the reaction of the players, but we haven't seen the replay of that yet. It was a great ball from Casemiro.
Casemiro's ball was brilliant. It dropped inside the box, and he did sort of dive in front of the ball, and his arms were out wide. He headed it, missed the header, then touched it with his left hand and his right hand.
You love this handball.
Now, listen, I knew you were going to start this.
Come on. I mean,
it's an accidental handball.
Correct.
That's not in the law. The law is,
did he
make himself unnaturally bigger?
Here he goes. For me, he fell over. He's trying to correct himself and he's bundled the ball a little bit. It's not a penalty for me, but you're the master of handball. No one knows that rule better than you.
The first thing you said to me when we walked in here today was,
handball masters here.
Don't talk to me about handball, though. I'm not getting involved in a discussion with you.
No, I won't.
Anyway, they've had a good look at it, and they've allowed play to continue, which means that they're not going to give the penalty. So it's a free kick to Everton, just short of the halfway line for an offside flag up against Rashford, I think it was, on this near side. So they'll launch it forward now. And it's Manchester United who lead by 1-0 with 11 and a bit minutes to go before half-time.
And it's been a cracking game, there's been lots of mistakes, but it's been a great entertainment so far.
Here is the long driven ball forward by Pickford to the edge of the area. Casemiro got up really well, and Everton are a bit of a pickle here because Manchester United have turned the ball over and they're moving it at pace on the right side with the blonde hair of Garnacho striding forward, tinkling his way to the edge of the box and going down again. It's another penalty, and Godfrey this time has brought him down. He celebrates Garnacho. It's a yellow card for Godfrey. Nothing more than he can expect, really. He went steaming into a challenge after a delicate little dance into the box by Garnacho. He won't complain, Godfrey, because he knows for a fact that was a foul inside the box, and Manchester United have a second penalty.
Well, Garnacho has been outstanding. Every time he's had the ball, something has happened, and that is a brilliant run. He's run right across the box.
It's such a terrible challenge, though, isn't it? I mean, he's completely missed the ball and planted his foot on top of Garnacho's.
Yeah, I mean, he's going at such pace. He's got it all wrong, the defender. He shouldn't be making any sort of challenge there. But it was a great bit of skill from Garnacho. Don't take anything away from him there. He skipped past 2 or 3 there. And now we have a different penalty taker, bizarrely. Rashford will be taking this.
Yeah, well, Marcus Rashford has only ever scored twice against Everton, and both of those goals have come from the penalty spot. And he has had what can only be described as a difficult season. 6 goals this campaign. He will take the penalty in front of
the straight run up as well.
Yeah, straight in front of the Stretford end to make it 2-0 before half-time for Manchester United. Couple of steps back, then he arcs his run up, stops, stutters, right-footed, rifles it in. Marcus Rashford scores his second goal in a week. He smashed in a beauty against Manchester City, and he's just converted that penalty with violence into the corner, outwitting his England teammate, who went the wrong way this time. He popped it in the other side, and Manchester United, with 2 penalties, lead by 2 goals to nil.
The one thing you'd have to say about United today, every time Everton have pressed, come on, had a chance, every time they've broke on Everton, they've looked dangerous. And both goals have come from quick breakaways, both from Garnacho, ironically, once down this left-hand side and one right through the middle. Fantastic play from him. He's been terrific. Probably the difference between the two sides is that young boy's performance. They find themselves now 2-0 up, and I'd like to think that they have a bit of more control over this game now.
I was talking to Faye Carruthers a little bit earlier on today, and she was saying, what do you think about the game today? What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be 0-0? I said, you know what, it might go the other way. It might go goal crazy. We've had 2, and we've only played 37 minutes. It's Talksport. Manchester United 2, Everton 0. We could have had a few more, couldn't we?
We could have, yeah. I mean, Everton will definitely be scratching themselves again now they've not scored. They have another set play here, and they're a massive team. When you look at Everton, they've got like 5-6-foot-2ers in there.
Here is the corner, delivered by Garner in towards the near post, punched away by Onana, and he came out, and he certainly went for that one. It's back into the box again, looking for Doucouré, who's broken the lines to get in behind there, and he just sort of got towards the ball but not enough on it, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. If you're Sean Dyche, look, you've come here, you've had chances, they've scored 2 goals, 2 penalties that are your undoing. I mean, Garnacho definitely deserves credit for his ability to ballet dance into the box, but ultimately it's 2 penalties that your players have given away that separate the 2 teams. How frustrated will you be?
Well, obviously Sean, being a central defender, will be particularly angered by those situations. I don't think he was too engrossed with some of the action that went on before the incidents. And you know, when you're turning balls over and you're getting broke on, it's because positionally wise someone's missing, and that's what's happened to them on 2 occasions today, and actually more than 2 occasions, because Man United are playing like an away team.
Yeah,
they're almost like we're playing in sort of Man United's half, and every now and again they just burst away and they look like they're going to score. So, you know, Everton needs to address that. But how they haven't actually got a goal themselves, Everton, again, a scratch their head moment for Sean, because they should have got something so far. So this scoreline should be read 2-1, but they're 2-0 down. They're in big trouble.
Yeah, 2-0 down, and looking as if they might go 11 Premier League games without a victory, which, you know, would cause them a problem going into the next couple of weeks, because there are fixtures for Luton that, you know, if Luton were to pick up 6 points in the next 6 days, which is possible, by the way, they play Crystal Palace today, then Bournemouth live on Talksport on Wednesday.
They've got no chance today at Palace. No chance. Sorry, Faye. Says
former Palace manager Alan Pardew, who wants to be able to be invited back to sit next to his mate Steve Parish. Here is Mainu over on the far side, out towards the right. Fernandes onto Mainu again, into the right wing position. He's got Garnacho inside the box. The ball is centred, but Garner had got back to clear it for Everton. And then McNeil picks it up in the midpoint of his own half, has to run laterally because there was nowhere to go, and he's come out the other side, emerging with it, and he's running at pace, being chased by Rashford, and then it goes out to the right hand side, and Harrison then tees it back. But the little ripple of applause, I think, was for Marcus Rashford's endeavour to get back there, which isn't always the case.
Well, he's done it a few times today. You couldn't fault his defensive work today, and he's got a goal. So, you know, he talked about the sort of criticism he faces and the pressure that's on him, but he's done well today.
Here's Harrison, and that was not a very good ball into the box. It's going to go straight out of play, and it's away for a goal kick. In fact, the Everton supporters away to our right hand side not happy at all, and Andre Onana brings the ball down, and then he will clear it from the edge of the 6-yard box away to our right with 5 minutes to go before half time.
And a little word for the keeper as well, because obviously he had a lot of pressure at the start of the season, but he's been terrific today, and his distribution, although, you know, messes around a little bit with the back four, when he's hit longer balls he stretches the game a little bit, And these 2 or 3 longer passes today have worked well for United.
Another example of that there, with a great ball up to McTominay, who flicked it on into the path of Garnacho. He took it down, and then actually it's broken down with Dalot far side. They've won a throw-in, though, which is level with the edge of the penalty area that Everton are defending, away to our left. So they've taken the ball right from one end of the ground to the other, and mainly because of that kick from Onana away to our right-hand side. And they tell me that actually he has improved, and he's got the trust of his teammates now, which certainly wasn't the case if you watch the nadir of his early part of the season, which was the Galatasaray game. You remember that?
Absolutely.
Earlier in the campaign.
And he didn't look comfortable, but he looks, again, another long ball. He's got Rashford in.
And he's played Rashford in on the edge of the area. He plays it against Tarkowski, but the offside flag is going to go up anyway. You're listening to Manchester United 2, Everton 0 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
And I have an Enterprise car myself at the moment.
Do you?
I do.
It's great to know.
There you go.
Give you a special Talksport discount?
No.
Oh, you pay full price. Here is Doucouré down the left-hand side, in towards the near post. You're a member of the club, though, right? McNeil's got it on the edge of the D, and he's been fouled by Casemiro, but they've allowed Godfrey to continue. He struck it right-footed down towards the edge of the box, and it's taken a little deflection and gone behind for a corner. And, well, again, Manchester United giving up far too many chances. And if Everton are going to take any encouragement, it is because of this leaky Manchester United defence. They probably born out of the fact that they've not been able to field a stable backline for a while now, Alan. But they have kept just one clean sheet in 10 Premier League games, and you can see why.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't look at ease, and you'd still think Everton could get something from this game.
Here's the ball into the box. It goes all the way through towards this near side, but then goes out of play, and Onana can't keep it in, and it's a goal kick away to our right.
I mean, I've been here many times as a manager, and usually when you come here, the back four of Man United are so, they're strutting around and they're secure, and you never feel like you can get back into it when they get the lead and the stadium starts playing apart.
Even now?
But no, it's what I'm saying. This particular season, they've not had that at all, have they? They've always looked vulnerable. They look like a team that are just sort of hanging in there. That's what they look like. But 2-0 up today, and on the break they look particularly effective.
Ball sent long by Onana over towards the far side of the field. McNeil is tussling, and I think there was a foul there by Dalot, which is going to give a free kick in the left full-back position for Everton as we approach half-time. But another week of top guests on Talksport. Especially during the morning periods where we've had quite a few big interviews. Rashford's got it now, trying to test Pickford onto Fernandes inside the area. It was a poor ball away by Everton from that free kick, which led them to be counter-attacked on. And one of our big guests this week, and you've already heard him on the show today, Jordan Pickford, comes out to the edge of his penalty area, gobbles the ball up, and has a word with his defence because he's not happy about the way they've operated.
I mean, we were talking earlier about, the clean sheets that Everton have had, now well they've defended. I mean, they've been poor today. I mean, as much as they look like they should have had a goal at the back, they've not looked secure at all. And the 2 penalties are just poor defending.
And the Brighton CEO, Paul Barber, who was particularly good, I thought, after the shocking events in Rome on Wednesday night and the build-up to the Thursday night match against Roma, which they end up losing Brighton quite heavily. And Ray Winston on as well this week, talking about West Ham and David Moyes.
Ray Winston, the gaffer, the big man.
And next week, of course, is Cheltenham. I know you're keenly into that. Alan Brazil is going for all 5 days. I don't know whose idea that was.
Me.
Should we have a bet between the two of us if we think he'll make all 5 days? I've got that.
He's a fellow employee, and I should back him 100%.
It's Talksport, you don't have to do that. I've got this special setting on my phone where the producer can ring me if he doesn't turn up. Just in case.
Okay. I'll be on standby too then. Oh,
Garnacho robs the ball from Mikolenko, who was fiddling around with it, gets to the byline, tries to pull it back. It hit a hand of Mikolenko surely and goes behind. But Simon Hooper says he was grounding himself, therefore using his arm to protect his fall, and it doesn't count as a penalty, it will just be a corner.
We got another handball for Sam Matterface to go right through the rule book here. He's pulling it back. Garnacho to hopefully to a opposing player, and it's hit his hand unintentionally-ish.
You're not sure either this time.
No.
I think if none of the other penalties had been given, that might have been.
Yeah.
Because although he is sort of breaking his fall, he's also stretching his arm out for a reason.
Yeah, I would slightly agree with that.
They're lucky.
Can I say that? Slightly agree?
I think, well, you either do or you don't.
Yeah.
We're into injury time at the end of the...
agree. I'll have to look at that. Think about that.
At the end of the first half. But I tell you what, I think that could have been a hat-trick of penalties that they've given away.
You know, on some occasions, those penalties being given, either one of those could have been given today.
Yeah, I think that one probably would fall into the category of... I've seen one given against Lewis Dunk earlier in the season, which they said was wrong. There was one that was against Luton, was it? Yeah, earlier in the season, yeah. I think that they said that was wrong. Then there was another one that they could have given that they didn't. You are listening to Manchester United, only leading by 2-0 against Everton on Talksport with Super 6. Predict 6 correct scores from this weekend's action. You could win £500,000 without spending a penny. 18+ terms and conditions apply. And we're in the second minute of stoppage time. I think there's 3 added here. Ball sent down the left into 4. Onto McTominay for the Mainu, then back to Mainu inside the area. Finds McTominay inside the 6-yard box, looking to turn it back here. Casemiro thumps it, blocked by Onana, and it's sent out to the far side. But Garnacho's got it. They've got the bit between their teeth now, Manchester United. These forward players, especially. Casemiro back to Lindelof. He bends one towards goal, and he doesn't do that very often. And Pickford has to make the save away down to our left-hand side. And if Victor Lindelof is having efforts from the edge of your penalty area, you know you're giving up too many chances. And Lindelof does well, wins the ball back. Evans then gets fouled. It's a free kick to Manchester United, who I think going forward have been pretty effective so far, even if at the back there have been holes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And that was great technical play down this left-hand side from Manu and Rashford. Top draw to get out that little corner. Then they got McTominay in the box with the ball at his feet. He pulled it to the back and had a couple of shots from the edge. Casemiro had a great hit, by the way. A real high technical tariff that was to get that shot off. But that got blocked, and then it come out to Lindelof, who produced a save from Jordan. But good play from Man United. And at the top of the pitch, they've been sharp.
Cardiff 0, Ipswich 0 is currently the score on Talksport 2 in the Championship. Leicester still leading Liverpool in the Women's FA Cup by 1-0, and Aberdeen 2-1 up at half-time against Kilmarnock. We're approaching the break here. Good ball out by McTominay to Garnacho, who's in again inside the area. He sits down the defender, then tries to go on the outside of him, and actually Branthwaite recovered brilliantly after going to ground too quickly. He then stood his ground, in effect on the ground, and scooped the ball away from the legs of the Argentine and got it clear over the halfway line.
Garnacho, this is probably his first error of the game, actually. He should have took the shot on there much earlier, and he tried to sort of deceive the fullback when he didn't need to. He could have just got the shot off. But again, another opportunity. I mean, Shaw must be starting to worry a little bit, because they're coming undone, Everton, at times now. And that they didn't start like that, but this last 15-20 minutes has been difficult. They're making errors now all over the pitch. Yeah,
this is a worry really, because they started the season well, but it has faltered, and they've started to lose a bit of form. This is too many games without a victory. Here's Garner inside the area though, played in by Beto. Now would be a good time to get one. McNeil strikes, it's blocked by Dallow. Another chance goes a-begging for Everton. And it's the last action of the first half. They've had chances again. They haven't taken them again. And Manchester United lead at the break as a result of 2 penalties that rather sloppily Everton have given away. They've been brilliant at the top end of the pitch, Manchester United, but they have gifted chances to Everton, especially in the early part of that game. But you just wonder, with a 2-0 advantage over a team that don't score enough goals and miss too many chances, whether Manchester United have already done enough. It's half-time at Old Trafford on what's been a really entertaining first 45 minutes, and it's Manchester United 2, Everton 0.
It's been a cracking game of football from a neutral's point of view, Alan, but mistakes for both teams, really. But let's go through both of those penalties. I think fair to say atrocious defending at times.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, Everton have just been poor at the back today. They look, Man United, every time they've got into it in and around the last third, they look like they're going to get a goal. And both goals were poor defensive tackling, really. Trojewski the first time, he skipped inside Garnacho. He doesn't need to make the challenge, makes a sloppy challenge penalty. and then Garnacho's coming full pace across the box. Now, when you've got a player, you can't get a shot off because he's going so fast. You don't really need to make a challenge. A second challenge has come in, and it's a second penalty. But the last 5 minutes of that game, not the last 5 minutes, the last minute of that game, summed the game up. Man United almost score on a breakaway. It goes down the other end. Johnny Evans is messing around with it. They get caught out. They get a great opportunity right in the middle of the goal to get a goal back, and they're not taking the chance.
Yeah.
And that kind of sums up what we've seen the whole half here. Everton having turnovers, looking like they're going to get a goal but don't. And Man United on the break look electric. Mistakes at the back, but electric at the top of the pitch, and find themselves 2-0 up.
Put your manager hat on in terms of Erik ten Hag first and foremost. You've got 2 penalties and you rotate penalty takers. Are you, Alan Pardew, the manager, happy with that or not?
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, when a guy scored a penalty or missed a penalty, you know, I don't mind somebody else taking a penalty, and I've had that before in games. And usually you let the players decide. They want confidence, that's okay. If you have a penalty taker that is always regular, like I had at Southampton with Lambert, for example, you just know he's going to take it and smash it home. So there's a different kind of thing. But this team, I think with the 2 penalty takers we had today, they're both comfortable. They've both got a history with penalties. I would have had no problem with that.
Ricky Lambert, what a player! But we did see it with Harry Kane, didn't we? In the World Cup, you know, it gets into your mind without a doubt. And because Pickford maybe had been so close with that first Fernandes penalty, maybe that's why they decided to do it. Now put your manager hat on in terms of Sean Dyche, because we've been watching him be very animated on the touchline. He's very angry. Yeah,
there's something went on before the first goal that he was really angry about.
He was shouting at Beto particularly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the wide player, but you know, whatever it was, he was fuming, and I would be worried if I was Sean, because obviously he's had another half where they've had chances. So you've got to go in the dressing room now and say, look, we're creating chances. The same thing he's probably been saying the last 7 or 8 weeks. But I'm sure his back 4, he needs to address a little bit, because they've been poor today as a unit. And they've made mistakes, and that needs to secure. And the last 10-15 minutes, Everton looked like a team that could be in trouble. You know, whereas before that they looked sound, they looked fine. Even at 1-0, I didn't see a problem. I thought they were playing well.
Well, they were straight out the blocks, weren't they? They were brilliant at the beginning of the game, and then it all kind of turned on its head. Yeah, they were. But then Mykolenko, I mean, this is a debate that's really interesting, isn't it? Second one for me looked exactly like it should have been a penalty. That's twice he's handled the ball in the area, albeit breaking his fall on both occasions. But that second one felt a little bit naughty to me. He put his right arm back behind him, which then changed the direction of the ball.
Yeah, Mykolenko has been lucky, he's been fortunate, and actually he's had a really tough afternoon with Garnacho down that side, and they've got in 3 or 4 times with Garnacho or Fernandes, because Garnacho comes off the line and Fernandes pops up over there, and Darlow on the overlap. So they've had a few problems down that side of the pitch, and I wouldn't mind betting there might be a change there where he puts a different midfield player in front of him. But he has struggled, and you're right, I think that second one was a penalty. Yeah,
I agree. Could have been a hat-trick for Manchester United. This is Game Day exclusive, entertaining first half here at Old Trafford. Everton, the architects of their own downfall, ultimately missing a hatful of chances and conceding 2 penalties. As it is, it's Manchester United 2, Everton 0. Second half action coming next here on Talksport.
Game Day exclusive on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Mwah. When it's lunch o'clock, I just eat the tortilla naked burrito bowl.
Oh, I didn't know you could get those.
There's a lot you don't know, dear.
Well, I know that shirt's not coming back into fashion anytime soon.
Touché.
Get tortilla, Subway, Pret, and more delivered. For lunch and everything else.
Did somebody say just eat?
Charges apply. Check available restaurants in your area and opening times on justeat.co.uk for details.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits. to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
Who are you going for in the racing today?
The favourite.
And tomorrow?
The favourite.
And the next day?
The favourite.
The Sun's horse racing pullout, The Favourite, is now in the paper 7 days a week. Yes, that's right. Every single day. Bringing you even more top tips, more form guides, more race cards, and all the colours and silks. Get your favourite pullout every day in the Sun, the home of racing.
McDelivery, you in?
Oh, am I? What a day. I need 6 chicken McNuggets, or maybe 9, or maybe 6 and a cheeky cheeseburger. Makes sense. With something sweet to follow, like an apple pie, or a McFlurry. Or I could get a milkshake instead. You know, a nice halfway house of drink and ice cream.
Jane, the game's just starting.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. I'm in.
There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. You in? At participating restaurants only. 18 plus. Serving times, delivery fees and terms apply. See app or mcdonalds.com for details.
Don't break your stride. Hurry to Screwfix for unmissable deals on trade essentials. Big paint job on? Buy the Fortress Big Box set for $27.99 and get a half-price extension pole for just $7.47. Patios and driveways in need of a clean? Get the Titan pressure washer for just $59.99. Shop now, on the app, at screwfix.com or in-store. Delivery fees may apply. Prices valid until at least April 1st, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Arsenal versus Brentford live today, contract free with a Now Sports membership. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
The games, the goals, and the glory.
Oh, and he's grabbed the net!
Game day.
Brilliant strike.
Live football coverage that's beyond compare. Game day exclusive.
On Talksport.
This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport. Faker Ruthers, Alan Pardew and Sam Matterface with you here at Old Trafford. Manchester United leading Everton by 2-0, which doesn't really tell the full story of this game, to be honest. 2 penalties, possibly could have been more as well, and Everton probably should be on the score sheet too. Second half action coming up shortly. Let's switch to an oval ball very briefly though, with the Six Nations in its penultimate round of fixtures. England against Ireland is live from Twickenham at 4:45. Before that though, Scotland travel to Italy. They're just over an hour away from kick-off there, and Talksport's Alfie Reynolds will be watching.
Well, Scotland's victory over England in their last game has them second coming into the penultimate weekend of this year's championship. They've never previously finished higher than third in the Six Nations. Standing in their way today is an Italy side who drew away to France in their last game. Then later today, stuttering England host what appears to be an unstoppable Ireland side. Andy Farrell's men are 2 wins away from winning back-to-back Grand Slams, a feat never achieved in the history of the Six Nations. If they win with a bonus point today, the title would be secured before the final weekend. Steve Borthwick has resisted the temptation to rotate his side despite that Scotland defeat. Just the 3 changes. Emmanuel Faye-Waboso makes a first start on the wing, and Danny Kerr is set for his 100th appearance off the bench. It's not often Ireland would come to Twickenham as such heavy favourites. That match is at 4:45. Italy and Scotland get the weekend's action underway at 2:15.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Alfie. This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport. Just under 5 minutes till the second half kicks off here at Old Trafford. Let's continue to look ahead to today's Premier League action with Super 6.
The Talksport Match Predictor with Super 6. The rollover is back this March. Predict 6 correct scores for the chance to win a huge £500,000. Get your entries in by 3 p.m. today with Super 6. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
As you know, each week we discuss games that are featured within Super 6. For those of you that aren't familiar with Super 6, it's a free-to-play football game where you can win huge jackpots through your own knowledge. Just predict 6 correct scores to win the jackpot. This March, the rollover is back. So the Super 6 jackpot will roll over if it's not won, meaning it could reach a whopping £1 million. This week it's £500,000, £500,000, and even if you don't manage to get 6 correct scores, there's more ways to win with a guaranteed £5,000 up for grabs every single round if you get the most points, and plenty more. Alan, can you quickly run through the final 3 games on the list? Let's start with our exclusive Talksport 2 commentary match at 3 o'clock, Wolves against Fulham.
Well, Wolves against the massive Lily Whites. That will be 1-1. I think Fulham will get something there.
Okay, over 600,000 Super 6 players are predicting Gary O'Neill's men to actually win that game. Well, only 14% of entrants are backing an away win. Also at 3 o'clock today, Crystal Palace face Luton. Be kind, please. What's your Super 6 prediction for this one?
Yeah, I've got Palace down for a 1-0 up there. Thank you.
Thought you might do. Palace do need a win to stay clear of the relegation battle, and over 650,000 players are predicting the hosts to register all 3 points and widen that gap on the relegation places. Finally, Bournemouth host Sheffield United.
Yeah, poor Sheffield United, nowhere to go really, have they there, Mike? I think they'll get beat again. I think that could be a 3-1-er.
Oh, Bournemouth looking to make it back-to-back wins in the Premier League today. A massive 94% of Super 6 entrants are predicting the Cherries to beat a struggling Sheffield United. Don't forget, Wolves against Fulham is live on Talksport 2 this afternoon, while Adrian Durham will take you around the grounds here on Talksport at 3 o'clock. That's all thanks to Super 6. If you like playing Super 6, head over to ITV7 and enter the Gold Cup sweepstake. You could win a brand new Audi A3. One winner is guaranteed. It's now open and completely free to enter via the ITV7 website or app. 18 plus and UK only. Terms and conditions apply.
The Talksport Match Predictor with Super 6. The rollover is back this March. Predict 6 correct scores for the chance to win a huge £500,000. Get your entries in by 3 p.m. today with Super 6. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
As I said, following us here on Talksport, Adrian Durham's going to bring you Game Day live going around the grounds, and he's based at the KCOM for Hull against Leicester. 10 huge games left to play in the Sky Bet Championship, which has been absolutely brilliant this season. Currently goalless, by the way, in Cardiff between Ipswich and Cardiff. Of course, Talksport have exclusive commentary of all the EFL matches. Lucky us, and it's been a delight, Aid, hasn't it? And this one is going to be fascinating, bearing in mind Leicester have really gone off the pace of late, and Hull have snuck themselves into the promotion places.
Yeah, I mean, they're top 6, Hull City. However, there is a little bit of negativity around. They've drawn the last 3, and there was a section of the Hull fans booing them off after the 1-1 draw with Birmingham midweek, even though they were in the top 6. So Liam Rossini didn't react too well to that. I think there will be a reaction from his players today, and Leicester could bear the brunt of it. Less than a month ago, they were 14 points clear of 3rd place. Now it's less than that, and all of a sudden, Leicester... We thought they were going to win the title comfortably. Well, that's not in the bag at all. Even automatic promotion isn't in the bag either. I was there at Sunderland on Tuesday night. They won 1-0. They were very lucky to win 1-0. Sunderland should have got something from the game.
Yeah, it's been a really brilliant season, hasn't it? And obviously we bring you all the games here on Talksport, but the minute a point is all Ipswich are getting at Cardiff, which means that Leeds keep them out of the top 2 automatic promotion spots on goal difference, purely because of that win that they had last night, 2-0. If you were going to put your money on any of it, who are you pointing at?
Leeds, the form is sensational. I think Ipswich fans will love that because they love being written off, and there's no doubt that they've got what it takes to go and grab a winner in the second half at Cardiff on Talksport 2. But let's see what happens. What I love about it is, and Southampton aren't out of it. They've got a couple of games in hand. They'll play one of them this afternoon. They're definitely not out of it. They can, as we've seen this season, string a run of results together. So it's 2 from 4. Then you've got playoff places up for grabs all the way down to Cardiff in 10th place. And then there's about 1 billion teams trying to fight relegation down at the bottom, the 2 remaining relegation places. It's a sensational division. It is year in, year out, but this year more than ever, it's something very special, and we won't be able to take our ears off it for the last 10 games.
No, don't take your ears off of the game here at Old Trafford either. It's Manchester United against Everton, second half kicking off now, alongside Alan Pardew and your match commentator Sam Matterface.
Yeah, welcome back. Everton's record here isn't particularly good, and you may have heard me talk to the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, earlier. He remembers the last time that Everton won here. It was December 2013. Brian Oviedo with the goal. And we've had a bit of a false start at the start of the second half, Alan, because they thought they'd kicked off Everton, only to be told by the referee that they were to do it again.
Oh, yeah. Referees, eh?
Your favourite people. They are underway, and Everton are shooting towards the Stretford end in this second half, much to the chagrin of the Manchester United supporters who weren't happy about being turned round in the first 45, but it didn't do them too bad. They lead by 2-0, and they've got a bit of defending to do here as the ball goes in the box from Godfrey away to our right. And actually, it was fascinating listening to the press at half-time talking about what they thought of the game. Everton have played quite well, created chances, not scored. Manchester United had a couple of good counter-attacks and managed to fashion goals from the penalty spot because of Everton's mistakes, and that really sort of sums it up. Everton press were pretty frustrated, I think.
I'm sure the press are experts in the field of what's going on the football pitch.
You're a member of the press pack now, Alan. Don't denigrate your new teammates.
Yeah, well.
Shall we move on from that conversation before you start getting upset?
No, I won't get upset. No, because everyone has an opinion about football, and that's what makes it great. And the bottom line is you don't need to be a genius to know that Everton have done okay, particularly in that first 25 minutes. They've been all right today, and they should have got a goal, as Faye quite rightly says. But unfortunately, they find themselves 2-0 down at Old Trafford, away from home. That is not comfortable.
Not when you've won just one of your last 31 away games against Manchester United in all competitions. Here is Garner on the halfway line, out towards the left-hand side. The Republic of Ireland manager is here today. Interim manager John O'Shea, way to our left-hand side, keeping an eye on things. Mikolenko takes it in from the left touchline, feeds the ball towards Doucouré. It's behind him and cleared by Manchester United's Victor Lindelof into the middle of the half, and then a good pass by McTominay sends Bruno Fernandes into green grass, and then they feed Garnacho. But it's the wrong ball because Garnacho was way offside, and the flag eventually goes up on this near touchline.
He's done well, McTominay, today. He's got a strange position. It's sort of that number 8 stroke number 10 position which he shares with Fernandes. But he's won a few headers, from those long balls from the goalkeeper, and his interplay and receiving the ball and setting off little breakaways has been good today.
Well, they're playing without a striker, aren't they? They're playing with two wide men in Rashford and Garnacho, and then McTominay and Fernandes are the two sort of, one's at 10 and one's at 10.5, really. Ball cleared by Pickford out towards the near side, kept in well by McNeil on this near touchline. He sends it back to Doucouré, who feeds the ball centrally, and Harrison takes it on. He's got Godfrey outside him on the right hand side. He feeds him now. Godfrey into the centre, and it wasn't a bad ball from Godfrey, but it wasn't the right ball, and there was no one to attack it, and it remains 2-0 to Manchester United.
And that's such a typical Rashford moment. So it's the start of the second half. He's done about 3 75-yard recovery runs in the first half. And that first time there, he just gave up. He just wasn't even looking to defend. And Everton had so much time. I'm looking at the manager, Erik ten Hag, there. I'd be calling him out there, Rashford, particularly at the start of the half. He just let it go.
Well, he left so much space for Godfrey. Now it's Manchester United who've got the space, and they've got the option of a 3-on-2 if Dalot had got the pass right, but he didn't. And it goes back to the heart of the Everton defence in Branthwaite. And it remains 2-0 to Manchester United on Talksport. That game in December 2013, where Oviedo scored the late winner, was the first season after Alex Ferguson's retirement. Roberto Martinez was in charge of Everton at the time. So they come forward again, and the ball goes out on the far side, and now Casemiro has had a word with Rashford and said to him, you need to get back and help out here, because again, he was a little bit too casual, allowing Tarkowski to emerge up the field with the ball.
And he's just made another poor challenge. It's almost like he stayed in the dressing room. I mean, that's where you need senior pros to really call him out.
They've won the ball. Mainu has sent it into Fernandes, who tries to fly it out towards the near side. Mikolenko accused of handball, not for the first time. The referee says play on. And it didn't reach Garnacho. It is going to be a free kick to Everton after McNeil was pulled back by Fernandes. Yeah, Rashford's, the way he started the second half has been really poor.
It's bizarre, isn't it? We're just praising him, and he's one of those players, I think, particularly me being an ex-manager, I have great sympathy for him. He has great talent and everything else, but you can't come out at the start of the second half, whether you're at Crystal Palace, Luton, Chelmsford, Rochdale, and defend like that, what he's done in that first period. That's just not acceptable, and he needs to get his act in gear.
Well, Everton taking their time over the set piece, which they were given, eventually send it to the left. McNeil with a cross towards the far post. It comes to Doucouré, who thunders it goalwards. It's blocked by the Manchester United defence. Just about. I think it was Scott McTominay who got back there to block that. But it was a great opportunity again for Everton. And this time, as it came down, it crashed into the side of the Scot. Doucouré with the effort. And it goes out and away. And there is some suggestion they're going to check for a handball. I'm not quite sure that there was any handball involved there.
I actually thought Rashford gave a free kick away there. He took a throw in, so I don't know if it's a free kick, maybe.
It's going to be a throw in over on the far side. Yep. But it remains 2-0. But that's another good chance for Everton. And Doucouré, who's scored a lot of goals for them this season, well, a lot by Everton standards. He has cracked in 6 goals already this campaign. United threatening to escape after the throw-in from the far side, which is then centralised towards Branthwaite, who's in the centre circle. Mikolenko picks it up for Everton, who now try to weave an attack coming forward. 52 on the clock on Talksport on this Saturday lunchtime. Later on, we're around the grounds with Adrian Durham. Monday night, we've got Chelsea against Newcastle, and Newcastle's record away at Stamford Bridge is pretty poor. They haven't won there since May 2012. Who was in charge that day? You remember?
Yeah, we've had that earlier. It was Papa Sister's day that day.
Yes, it was.
Brilliant.
It was. Here is Doucouré. We've got that game live for you on Monday night. Well, he's just given the ball away rather cheaply as he bounded forward. Tomorrow we've got West Brom and their trip to Huddersfield. West Brom, another of Alan's former clubs. And then the countdown is on to promotion in the Championship. 10 to go. And this afternoon, as you heard from Adrian just now when he was talking about the excitement in that division, so much of it will unfold here on Talksport.
Really, setting itself up for a typical brilliant Championship season, isn't it? Everybody's still in the hunt for the playoffs and the relegation areas. Amazing league.
And currently, at this moment in time, Cardiff 0, Ipswich 0 is live over on Talksport 2. Leeds 79 points from 37, behind Leicester, who'll have 81. Ipswich can go up to 81 if they win today, but it's currently 0-0. So Leeds will stay in second position unless Ipswich can find a goal. Southampton 9 points further back on 70 points. Looks like they're going to be caught betwixt and between. And then West Brom on 60 and Hull on 57. Here's Garnacho fed by Fernandez down the right into the area. Hits it high towards the near post. It's over the bar. The idea was right and it went fizzing towards goal. We were right behind it. But there was, again, just too much underneath the ball that elevated it high towards the near post and it went firing over the top. Yeah,
when you're in that close, because the keeper's covering all the angles, you need to hit them high in the roof. And that's what he tried to do. He just got under it slightly and it went over the bar. But his idea was right to take it above Pickford. Another great chance, really.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of chances in the game, but it's Manchester United 2, Everton 0, Cardiff 0, Ipswich 0 in the Championship, 2-0 to Leicester in the Women's FA Cup quarter-final. In the Scottish Cup, it's 3-1 to Aberdeen. Again, a remarkable result, bearing in mind how bad Aberdeen have been recently. Here come Everton down the left-hand side with Beto moving into the area, somehow holding on to the ball despite a cumbersome run in which his legs rather clumsily seem to be moving away from his body. And then he pulled it back at the last moment, then lost it as he fed McNeil, and United go on the attack. And Rashford, just the ball by McTominay into him was just a little bit too much. And McTominay has done so much good work, has made probably just that first mistake, and the crowd got on his back.
Yeah. And actually, Johnny Evans done brilliant again. He stepped into midfield really well today, and that's one point of Johnny's game. He has great vision and great passing. He looks like he's breathing hard, by the way. The age certainly catching up with him, but he can't knock his quality, particularly in setting up chances and creating stuff for midfield players.
36 years young now, Johnny Evans, MBE.
MBE, yeah.
Came off with an injury in the Manchester derby, didn't he? But he's been very useful for Manchester United this season in what can only be described as a season of transition, really. They've had so many incidences of illness and injury over the course of the campaign. 48 absences because of injury and illness over the course of the season, and they had to make significant alterations to their team on a number of occasions. Today they managed to field the same team that was at the Etihad last week, but they are without some big names that are creeping back to fitness. The injuries are starting to clear. Mason Mount expected to be available after the international break. Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka should be back for the Liverpool games, so too Rasmus Højlund. That Liverpool game next week, live on Talksport next Sunday afternoon, absolutely huge.
Yeah, and there'll be Højlund's key, isn't he? They would love to have him back for that game.
Well, they need to get a central defender back as well, because if they give away this many chances, with all due respect to Varane and Evans and Lindelof and Dalot, if they give away this many chances to Liverpool next week, I'm afraid the other side of Merseyside will punish you.
Yeah, for sure. Everton looking like to make some changes. It's nice to see that Calvert-Lewin's going to get a chance.
About to come off the bench. It's been a long time since he scored. October 29th against West Ham United. He's their second top scorer with 4 goals this season, which tells its own story. McTominay down the left-hand side for Manchester United as they look to come forward here, leading by 2-0 as we approach the hour mark in the sunshine at Old Trafford, the sky clearing above our heads, and this certainly a much happier day at home for Manchester United today. There haven't been too many great home days for Manchester United, and although this hasn't been a perfect afternoon for them in terms of performance, it certainly does look as if it's going to be so results-wise. The pending substitution, Gomez coming on for Doucouré and Calvert-Lewin for Beto, are the changes that Everton are about to make here as Manchester United come forward again. Up to the left side of the United half, and Lindelof then back to Varane. Varane hesitates, holds onto the ball, plays it into Garnacho, doesn't feed it back to Casemiro with real purpose. Pinching it was Onana. He spread the play to Harrison, who jinks in from the right touchline. Now finds McNeil, who comes back in on his left foot, sets it back for Beto. He tries a shot eventually, but there was too many touches inside the box. Doucouré slams it towards the near post, and it's stopped by Onana, who makes a good save. It goes out. They thought for a corner. The referee said it didn't go out, so they played on Manchester United, and they managed to clear.
And United still popping it around in the last third. I mean, I think Eric has said to them to have a bit more control this second half. They certainly seem to be trying to get an extra pass in, but they just haven't got that assurance about them to keep the ball.
We'll go back to the Everton chance in just a second, but someone surely should have pulled the trigger a lot earlier. Yeah. Here's Garner down the left-hand side into the wide position, turns it back centrally into McNeil, and then on to Onana. 58 on the clock, Calvert-Lewin stripped and ready for action down in front of us. Back out towards Mikalenko, and then it's with Onana. They're a bit deeper now, and the attack has slowed again for Everton, and they go all the way back to the halfway line in the end, and it remains 2-0.
Yeah, Everton, you know, they definitely look like they need a change out there now. They're just to freshen it up a bit.
Harrison has it, right side, trying to move towards the edge of the United box. He's dispossessed by Marcus Rashford, who wins it, tries to hold him off, and then almost conspired to give it back again. Varane finds his goalkeeper Onana, who waits. It almost hits the goal line before he pummels it upfield. Mikalenko wins the header with Garnacho. McTominay allowed it to bounce. Garner went down. Referee said no problem, play on, and it's been released to the far side, the left. Tarkowski's missed it, and Fernandes is in behind. Garnacho is arriving, angles tight, not going to get there. And when he does, he was already sliding behind the goal line, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Jordan Pickford is going absolutely crazy on this near side. I'm not entirely sure who he's going crazy at, because he was sort of shouting at the back of the referee and then didn't really engage with anyone, then turned and just started screaming into thin air on this near side. He's absolutely furious about something. There is going to be 2 changes here.
3 changes, we think.
Oh yeah, looks like another one is incoming.
I think he was actually really angry with Harrison for his tracking back or some sort of defensive work that didn't go on. I don't think he was moaning at the referee.
Well,
we were talking about how calm he's been. He's not calm today. Jordan is going mad.
Should we talk about the Everton chance where they should have pulled the trigger, and then the Manchester United chance that they've just had with Garnacho, where actually Fernandes didn't produce the best ball?
Yeah, just a bit too hard for Garnacho to have a comfortable finish. He was sliding to try and get something on it. But the chance that come before, Beto's just got a swing at it. I think that's why he'll be replaced. He can't take a touch in a box on a chance like that. That's, a natural goalscorer just swings that in. There's a good chance.
Lewis Dobbin's going to take over from Harrison. Doucouré and Beto coming off for Gomez and Calvert-Lewin. So there's quite a few changes here that are incoming. It might just freshen up this Everton team as we go into the latter part of the second half here at Old Trafford. Old Trafford, which has its iconic banners draped over the perimeter of the second tier of the whole stadium. We've got the Republic of Mancunia Red Army flags, the Flowers of Manchester banners, Dennis Law tributes to Sir Bobby Charlton, the Sir Alex Ferguson stand draped with his trophies. The impossible dream made possible, it says. 26 years as the greatest manager in British football history. And they would love to bring back the good days. Everton need to bring back some good days pretty quickly as well, because this is their longest run in the Premier League since 1994 without a win, when they failed to win any of their first 12 matches of that season. It was a run that actually ultimately cost Mike Walker his job, Joe Royle replacing him in November 94. We know they would be 13th with their points restored, but that isn't going to happen now. And the longer the win this run goes on, the more threat relegation has for them, Alan.
Absolutely, they'll be sweating on results elsewhere if they don't get something today.
Fernandes picks it up, runs into the Everton half, and then tries to feed it to Garnacho, right side. Again, it's a little bit too wide for him. He has to stretch to centre it back towards Fernandes. But he'll chase the ball on this near side here and wins it brilliantly with a lovely little flick through the legs of the defender. And now Fernandes turns it into the centre. His ball not great again. Runs loose on the edge of the angle of the penalty area. And now Fernandes with a shot, drilling it towards the far side. And Pickford did well.
Great
down
save.
To his low right-hand side, he fingertipped that ball that was going towards the far corner, round the post and out for a corner.
Garnacho again, another great bit of technical ability. He's been terrific today. I mean, this is such a talent, this boy. If he can improve from where he is now, he could be a great player for Man United. He's done some really lovely moments today.
Bruno Fernandes goes and draws the applause from the corner of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand and the scoreboard end away to our right. He places the ball down in the quadrant, and Pickford tries to organise his defence. Varane runs towards the near post. He flicks the ball on. It drops inside the 6-yard box. McTominay is there, and so was Lindelof, who tried to poke it home. Johnny Evans went steaming in on Pickford, and he just about stopped it on the line. He took a whack on the way through as well. Poor defending by Everton, and they were all trying to crash at the ball there, the Manchester United players, but they had a bit more eagerness than some of the Everton players actually inside that box, and that shouldn't have been the case.
Again, they've done the same set play. It was a block for Varane. He gets a free header, and you can't really accept that really as an Everton player. They'd done that in the first half. Do you remember on the first corner?
Yes.
And they got away with it again here, and now it's just bobbling around in the box, and they've got lucky in the end. Pickford's had to save it on the line from a sort of toe poke. But Jordan has made two brilliant saves today, and they're 2-0 down. I mean, it could have been 3-4 down.
2-0 is the scoreline. Manchester United have the ball on halfway again. And Tarkowski just about stopped it from running through to Rashford, who is going to charge through the middle of the Everton half of the field, and it goes out towards the far touchline. Alan Pardew in the commentary box with us today, and he'll be back. Are you back on the radio tomorrow, 6:30? Is that right, for the final word?
Yeah, me and Madge. Yeah, final word. Always a good show. Listen in. We do a bit of music as well.
I can imagine. Yeah.
A bit going on. So he uses some terminology. I have no idea what he's talking about. So you can like listen in and work out if I know what he's talking about.
Was he in Saudi Arabia last night?
He did the fight walk. Yeah,
he did. Yeah. I was watching that and listening on Talksport last night as the ball is picked up by Andre Gomez out towards the right-hand side and sent on to Dobbin. It goes out of play off Lindelof and out for a corner. That final word returns tomorrow 6:30 live on Talksport. Madge, 6 o'clock tomorrow.
6 o'clock.
You're going early, are you?
And we'll be covering that fight. What about AJ's punch last night? Wow.
Yeah. Bit too much room, I thought, from Ngannou to get it through, but he's now smack it. And it was 3 knockdowns in the first
2 rounds.
2 rounds. It was, I think it was
no, he
57
caught him.
seconds.
They'd set it up nicely. Then the right cross, poof, take that.
Hit the ball towards the far post from the corner. The header was from Tarkowski. It's away towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Godfrey actually seemed to nudge that back rather than forwards, and Everton's attack falters once again. There was a foul there by Lindelof. He's given a free kick away for Everton, just 6 or 7 yards back from the edge of the penalty area.
That's almost the spot where Beckham got the goal against Greece, isn't it? That right there, about there.
It is.
Bit far for Everton players, I think.
Yeah, we'll probably have to go back through the archives and look at all of those big iconic moments that Old Trafford has housed when they eventually do tear this place down and open the new place across the road. Manchester United have a free kick to defend here. Everton need a goal. They need something from this game because they've got to find a way of helping themselves, because this debilitating cycle of dominating matches, failing to get goals and dropping points that they require is going to leave them unable to pull clear of trouble unless they can start fashioning results quickly. Gomez standing over the free kick. McNeil is there as well. It's a 5-man wall that Manchester United put up. It's cracked by Andre Gomez straight into it, and it goes right the way to halfway, and it was a bit of a waste of a set piece.
It was a great wall, by the way. Great, timing on the jump, and blocked it. Johnny Evans, I think.
Ball cleared by Pickford upfield for Everton. Out towards the near side. Mykolenko trying to bring it infield to Andre Gomez, and then it's with McNeil out to the far side where he's spread the play to Ben Godfrey. Godfrey back into McNeil. And the Manchester United fans finding their voice once again as Gomez comes forward, edge of the area, turns it back into the path of Onana. He was harassed by Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro, and the ball is repelled to halfway. There's been a lot of late goals for United this season. Here is Dobbin on the edge of the box, shooting from some distance, and it's well over the top into the Stretford end.
Nice to see Calvert-Lewin try a little turn there, though. He was a bit unlucky, actually. It's strange now because Everton got Gomez on the pitch. He gives a completely different look. He's got that sort of wants to stand on the ball, wants to create something.
Look at the way they're lining up for this press. They've got 2 right up on the edge of the 18-yard box, Everton, almost like 4-4-2, but the gap between the middle 4 and the back line is so big. If United had just elevated the ball over the top of Gomez's head, it would have gone to McTominay, who had so much space to turn and play in.
Well, that's the risk you do when you do a high press. You've got to invite that pass and hope your centre-half will go in there and attack it. It does leave you slightly vulnerable, but that's what pressing is about. You've got to put yourself at risk.
Manchester United have still got the ball deep inside their own half with Dalot and then Garnacho. A little overplay there, but managed to get away with it. And then Evans is up on this near side, the right. I don't know what he's doing there, but he's managed to feed it into Fernandes, who's helped it on to McTominay. He's got Rashford to his right, and Fernandes had gone bursting to his left, was a bit slow to get there. It was a little bit late for McTominay, and it's going to be a yellow card for Scott McTominay as a result of that wiring in behind Onana. It was almost from behind, actually. Wasn't a good challenge at all from Scott McTominay. You are listening to Talksport. It's Manchester United 2, Everton 0 with Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Arsenal, Brentford live today, no contract, with a Now membership. Search Now Sports.
He was clever there, Onana. He got his body in the way and his feet, and McTominay just come through the back of him. It was a bad challenge, actually. The yellow card was sufficient. It wasn't anywhere near an orange or a red or other new cards we have coming, blue,
no, they're
green.
not coming, they've banned them now.
No, they're banned now.
I'm
pleased
about
about
that. Okay. It's caused a bit of a stir, that, didn't it, when that was raised the other day. No, that's not going to happen.
Great ball.
It was a good ball out to Mykolenko. He couldn't receive it, though, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in. Everton last relegated in 1951. They don't want to get relegated this season, especially with the new stadium looming, but look at the table. 25 points from 28 games. Luton have got 2 games in hand. If they were to win their 2 games in hand, they'd be above Everton. I know you're not having the fact they're going to do anything against Crystal Palace today. Not that you're biased in any way, shape or form.
I always say, I said it on my show, you got to win 10 games. You want to stay in the Premier League, win 10 games. That's all you got to do. Everton have won, 8, but they've had the point deduction. So an extra game for them.
Right, let's head off to the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth, the lowest home scorers in the division, but they might expect to get a few today, Alex Crook.
And the good news is that Dominic Solanke is fit for the Cherries, who make one enforced change as Chris Mepham deputised for the injured Senesi. 4 changes for Sheffield United, including a full Premier League debut for 19-year-old Ollie Arblaster. It's Bournemouth against Sheffield United.
Here is Onana under pressure from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He manages to clear out towards the far side. It's going to go straight out of play. Luton are playing twice before Everton play again, so they will hope to take advantage. And Ollie Klink is watching them today against Crystal Palace. And although Alan Pardew says this result is a foregone conclusion, I'm not so sure, Ollie.
I'm not sure either, Sam. Palace are unchanged from their loss to Spurs last week, though. So Eberechi Eze is in from the off once again. There are 2 changes for Luton from their defeat to Villa. Bell is injured whilst Townsend drops to the bench. Osho and Ogbene come in for them.
Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock this afternoon sees Wolves take on Fulham, and Wolves have lost 2 of their last 3 at Molineux. They're struggling with injury and welcome an informed Fulham team. Who has Gary O'Neill selected? Ian Danter.
Well, he's gone with the back 4, Sam, and he's made 3 changes from the defeat at Newcastle. There's a first Premier League start up front for 19-year-old Nathan Fraser. Gomez and Santiago Bueno also come in for Dawson and Totti and Doyle. Those are the 3 players going out. For Fulham, after back-to-back wins, Marco Silva elects to name an unchanged side for this one. Wolves against Fulham at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2.
Thank you very much. And if you want to get TalkSport 2, pretty easy to download our app. You can flick between the 2 stations. Right now on TalkSport 2, you'll get the game between Cardiff and Ipswich. It is 0-0. And as a result of that, Leicester City will be very, very happy. Happy indeed. Ball cleared by Manchester United upfield. We haven't seen much in terms of any sort of enterprising play in the last 10 minutes or so from Manchester United. They've been sort of inviting pressure a bit from Everton, who are coming forward again. Branthwaite pokes the ball forward. It runs loose in midfield, and now maybe a chance to counter. Branthwaite is down. They want them to put the ball out of play. Johnny Evans, I think, will accede to those demands. No, he's just saying...
Yeah, centre-half union there.
Let Branthwaite get back up again. Now Branthwaite is back up again. They didn't put it out of play. They kept the ball moving. They just stopped and wait for him to get back into position.
Yeah.
How very kind of them.
Yes, very civil. Here in Manchester.
Odd. Here is Onana forward to Gomez, who strides in behind Mainu, plays it to Calvert-Lewin, who tries to take it in his stride, looks to go past Varane, but he never really had the confident touch that would be required to take it beyond the World Cup winner, and it's cleared away by Onana, but it comes back for McNeil into the box, and it's straight into the gloves of Onana with a cross which was a little bit too close to the Cameroon.
Yeah, and he's gobbled them up today, hasn't he, the keeper? Anything that's come in that's not been quite on the money on a crosswise, he's come and taken. He's looked very secure today. He'll be happy if he gets a clean sheet. His distribution's been good, been very, very impressive in today.
Well, the good news, and there's not much of it for Erik ten Hag, is that he has a 100% winning record against Everton. It's 4 from 4, about to become 5 from 5 unless there's a major change. There is going to be another change for Everton, who are about to bring on Ashley Young, who's going to come into the team at the expense of James Garner. And Everton continue their search to try and find a way back into this game. A game which really has sort of lost its entertainment value in the last 10 minutes or so. But they're trying to spike that up now. Mikalenko in the box, played in by Gomez. Oh, it just ran away from him. And then before it could reach Dobbin, was cleared away on this near touch line, and it goes out for a throw-in, and now they make that change. And Young, who will be well received here, he made 261 appearances for Manchester United, comes on to replace a man who didn't make as many appearances for Manchester United but was from their academy, James Garner. 24th appearance of the season for Ashley Young, not bad for a 38-year-old. He comes into the Everton midfield.
Well, that lovely. What a lovely response he got from the crowd, and it's great when you see that, the respect. And you have to say at Manchester, they're such a supportive crowd. Very rarely you come here and they turn on the team. Brilliant support here.
McNeil has it in the midpoint of the Manchester United half as Everton look to try and find a a ball forward out on that right-hand side. They couldn't quite squeeze it into Young, so it went back to halfway, and now Onana has it, left side of the centre part of the United half. Calvert-Lewin takes it in, tries to get a little trick away, feeds Dobbin left side. He comes in, gives it back towards Mykolenko's left-footed crosses deep towards the far post, headed down by Godfrey. Here's Dobbin, and it flashes through the 6-yard box. Calvert-Lewin throws himself at the ball, and it flashes out the other side of the 6-yard box and away for a throw-in. And the chances that keep coming for Everton just go nowhere near the goal. It's almost as if Andre Onana's net away to our left has some sort of force field around it, and Everton cannot penetrate it. Look at Sean Dyche. He can't quite believe it.
No, and you know, it's hard to, you know, it's a fantastic cross, by the way, to the far post. Great header back, and it comes across. Calvin is just probably a bit too late in his reactions, and yet the wide player gets on it, and Calvin's ended up late again. So 2 chances really to have get a goal back and make a really interesting finish, because at the minute Everton, unless they get a goal, are going to get caught on the break, because they're starting to overcommit just slightly, in my opinion. And this has all got all the hallmarks of a 3-0 to me. So Everton need to score in this period. I don't know what minute we're on. Where are we?
We're at 77.
Yeah, it's crucial. They get a goal in the next sort of 5 minutes. They want to get back in it.
Well, 10 games this season they've failed to score in. They look like they're going to fail to score in this one. And United do have a habit of scoring goals in the final 10 minutes of the game. They've scored 6 goals in the final 10 minutes of 8 games recently. So it's never finished until it is finished. Amrabat about to come on for Mainu as the ball goes into the box from Everton's right. An overhead kick towards goal by Onana is well executed, and it looked lovely, but it was never going to cause him any problems because the distance was so long and the power nowhere near venomous enough to take it beyond Andre Onana, and it's taken down and into the arms of the big Cameroonian. Oh, a slip on the far side by Varane, given the ball away, and Andre Gomez will profit here. Tries to feed it into Calvert-Lewin down the right channel, but interception comes from Casemiro. Rashford didn't get hold of Fernandez's ball. It was a little bit weak from the Portuguese. And he's fighting for it, Rashford far side. Goes down, wants a free kick, but it's Everton who emerge with the ball. McNeil and Casemiro in a bit of a knot. Rashford is back on his feet and he's got the ball. He plays it forward into Fernandez. A poor ball by Rashford, then a poor tackle. Free kick given far side, and it's a bit scrappy, Alan Pardew.
Yeah, and they've not been brilliant, Man United, but they've definitely had a bit more kind of control and stability about themselves in this second half. They've tried to sort of control it but they've not been brilliant at it. It's the best way I can put it. But they're now making a change. Amrabat's coming on to have a little bit more experience, keep the ball in that midfield area. So this might help them just secure the game out.
Well, it's a definitely maybe scenario, isn't it?
Well, it's Manu's gone off.
And Manu's gone off to replace by Amrabat, as we said would happen. And Amrabat comes into a midfield area. Had to fill in at left back again last week, didn't he? Ball up towards Calvert-Lewin, whose leap is one of the best in the league. McNeil tries to reverse it to Ashley Young, but he didn't get it right. It was a bit casual, and the Everton fans are groaning over on the far side as McNeil is then fouled by Andre Onana, and the free kick is given.
I mean, Calvin, you know, that leap is amazing, isn't it? I mean, he had no right really to win that header. It was a brilliant leap.
Well, Calvert-Lewin, I mean, he's got an amazing spring, hasn't he, in his
incredible
boots. It's terrific.
And you can't, when you look at him, his agility and everything else, you can't quite understand why he doesn't get 15, 20 goals.
More. How do you like it? Was one of the tunes we played in that Arsenal package earlier. And Kiefer Moore has given Ipswich the lead away at Cardiff, live on Talksport 2 with 10 minutes to go. Here is Kobe Mainu walking around the perimeter of the pitch because he went off on the far side like you're supposed to, and he's getting a standing ovation from everybody he walks past as he comes down the touchline here.
I might give him a round of applause because what a terrific young player he is. Brilliant.
Only 18 years of age, Kobe Mainu. Ball on the halfway line, Everton have it. Branthwaite infield to Tarkowski. And we've got 10 minutes to go on Talksport. Manchester United, I don't think their supporters won't be getting carried away by beating Everton. They always seem to get a good result against them here. But Everton, I think, will be the story after this, because looking at the table, it's becoming more and more precarious for them, and the next fixture away at Bournemouth is a long way away. They've got a big gap now between their fixtures because of the international break and the fact they were supposed to play one of the FA Cup quarter-finalists. Here is Calvert-Lewin inside the box again. It doesn't get anywhere near him. It almost just sort of bypassed him. He really does look as if he's lacking in confidence, as you would if you hadn't scored a goal since the 29th of October. But how do you fix that, Alan, as a manager?
Well, firstly, he can't fix that, because I thought that was a poor pass to him, to be honest. But yeah, I understand, you know, when you've got a striker, and I've had it. I remember Bobby Zamora was a fantastic striker for me, but he had moments when he couldn't score, and in the periods, and it's difficult to dig a striker out of that. And, oh, that's another poor pass.
Oh dear, and it's gone all the way. Amrabat into the left side to Johnny Evans. Evans has then sort of tried to tee it back for Onana, and Onana went, he just sort of hesitated, and it went behind and away for a corner kick.
If you was coming here as an opposing manager looking at Man United, they wouldn't scare you at all, this team.
Here is the corner in towards the midpoint of the penalty area. Calvert-Lewin with a header. It's a free one. It's straight into the arms of Andre Onana, and he got no power on it. It was such a good chance. And he got up so high, Alan, as he always does, and usually that would end up in the back of the net.
Yeah, he just got his timing was just off there on that header. It didn't generate any power. If it generated power, he would have scored. It was a fantastic ball.
And still, it says Everton 0 on the big scoreline, and that's the problem. Too many times this season, Everton 0.
Yeah, and it's going to grow. You know, another game, and you know, another, you know, expected goals stat that should suggest that they're going to score, you know, wrapped around your neck, it becomes a problem. And what I've noticed a little bit in the second half is little Everton players individually kind of having a moan up, you know, like, oh, here we go again, you know, oh, are we ever going to score? You can sort of sense it in their body language.
Well, no doubt that he deserves his standing ovation. Alejandro Garnacho coming off, and on comes Anthony. He's had a terrific day today, especially in that first half where he won the 2 penalties. The Liverpool game that's incoming next Sunday afternoon is all important for Manchester United, not just because of the fact that it is their last route to silverware, but it's Liverpool. And there is huge animosity between the two clubs. And pride is at stake, Northwest pride at stake. They will be desperate to get something in that game, get through and knock Liverpool out and stop them from having the chance to win the quadruple. Likewise, how Liverpool would love to come here next Sunday afternoon and cause Manchester United further grief.
As you know, you have to say that Garnacho always...
Oh, Dalot down the right-hand side, and then they hesitated between the two of them, Rashford and Dalot, and as a result, Pickford took advantage, came racing out of his goal and did brilliantly.
Yeah.
They've turned the ball over quickly, Everton, and now they've raced away at the other end on the counter-attack, and Gomez has sped the ball down the right in towards Onana, set back for McNeil, takes 2 touches, then shoots, Evans gets out and gets the block in, Mikalenko receives the knockback on the edge of the area, comes out to Dobbin. 6.5 minutes to go. Onana down the right into Ashley Young. Young with a chance to cross deep to the far post. Mikalenko with a header. It goes behind for a goal kick. You can't keep saying another Everton chance because it sounds like you're repeating yourself. I feel like one of those CDs that's got a scratch and keeps skipping because how many times we've said that today, Alan?
I know, and again, it's just, you know, you can't even sometimes say it's a lack of quality. They've had some good quality ball in today, and the chance just can't be taken. It's just so irritating as a manager to watch a team like this, and for all the individuals, all the pros out there trying everything to try and get a goal, they just can't seem to buy one.
A couple of our younger members of staff are probably suggesting CDs. What are they?
Yeah. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, give over.
I'm streaming now.
Are you? Yeah. Yeah, it's an eye infection, don't worry.
It's my nose.
But of course, you're a vinyl man, I'm sure.
Vinyl, yeah, I've got a lot of lovely vinyl. And the album covers, you know, looking out through them, you can't buy all that stuff.
You can.
Bit of quality. Well, you can, yeah. For about 50 quid now. They're like, yeah.
Everton behind here. Manchester United 2, Everton 0 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps. Over 120,000 people every single day. 5 minutes to go. Manchester United going to lead by 2-0 here, and they're going to get a victory which is going to take them to within 3 points of Tottenham, although Tottenham will have 2 games in hand. It sort of underscores the United predicament, really. And results in midweek, those of you who are as sad like I am and follow the coefficient updates will know that after Tuesday night, Wednesday night and Thursday night's game, things aren't looking good for a 5th place in the Champions League. Things aren't looking really good for Sofian Amrabat, because he's just come charging out towards his near side and just committed a really silly foul.
Can you put some clarity on that Champions League 5th place position for me, please?
It's unlikely that we'll get it. Is that enough?
Okay. All right, that's simple.
There's a long way to go, but the Italians and
what
the
do
Germans,
we need to... Well, no,
we have to outperform the Italian teams and the German teams in European competition.
Okay.
Obviously, Brighton are losing 4-0 in their game. Ball into the box. Ajax of Amsterdam drew 0-0 with Aston Villa. Manchester United out. Newcastle out. Arsenal yet to play Porto, but they lost their game against Porto in Portugal the other week. Here come Manchester United, but Rashford is offside as the ball is sent clear. And they're getting a little bit irate, the Manchester United fans, because they're just not getting enough energy to get up the pitch now with the last few minutes knocking. And we've seen a lot of games actually this season turn round in stoppage time. I'm not suggesting that Everton have got the capacity to do that, but if they were to get a late goal here, there would be a bit of nervousness, I think, at Old Trafford.
Well, our betting sponsor will be, I would say, will definitely be betting on a 3rd goal here, because I would. I think this is going to end up 3-0.
Casemiro manages to kick clear. Fernandes picks it up from the edge of his own box and then sends it forward to Scott McTominay, who cavalier-like goes charging through the centre, down the left side, and then draws a foul from Tarkowski, who is a little bit over-aggressive, not only with his challenge on McTominay, but with his protest to Simon Hooper. I think I was expecting him to get booked there for being a little bit mouthy, but the referee, who was a very good referee actually, I think, Simon Hooper, declined to do that, and we're going to have a change. Chermiti is coming on, the final change. He's going to replace Mikolenko, so they're going to go to a little bit of a more aggressive formation for the final few moments of the game, and Willy Kambwala is coming on, and he's going to replace Johnny Evans at the heart of the defence for Manchester United for the last few moments.
Yeah, good position in terms of the free kick here. Probably a bit too far to hit it, but Rashford's over it, so he has the power. But I would suggest this might be a cross. Johnny Evans played well today, Johnny Evans.
Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
And you need a servant like that, and he's majorly appreciated, and so he should be. He is a proper character. He'll dig in, he'll go through the mill. He'll do his best for the team. Erik ten Hag thanks him for his service as he's replaced by Willy Kambwala for the last few minutes of the game. Free kick, Manchester United, wide on the left-hand side. A right-footed effort from Fernandes incoming. Rashford is in an argument with Erik ten Hag from about 50 yards. It's going to be Fernandes who drips it into the box. Casemiro with a header. Oh dear. Well, he went to try and steer that, I think, back across the face of goal, but he would probably be better served, Alan, going for goal, wouldn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right in how you called that. He was trying to get it across the goal, but if he put it in goalward, he could have found himself on the score sheet.
Well, next up for Manchester United, that huge game against Liverpool next week.
Great lead.
Brentford after that away from home. Here's Dobbin down the left-hand side. Slipped by Dalot, but he recovered just in time as the ball went towards Ashley Young. He recenters the ball. He blocks the cross. Dalot, it goes out for a corner late on. 89 minutes. How many minutes are going to be added at the end of the game? We think about 4 or 5
2v1
here. 2v1 on the far side. McGill profits from that. Back to Young once again. Anthony got out quickly to him. Then Dobbin sends it down the right side. Gomez fires it through the box, stopped by Onana, who came out at a rapid pace and threw his body at it, and it goes towards the far touchline. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the 90 will be played as the cross comes in towards the area. Edge of the box was Chermiti trying to get up there, and it was flicked away And now Rashford looks to escape via Amrabat's pass down the right side of the playing surface, tight to the touchline, up on halfway. Amrabat gets it back again. Manchester United know that they can just control their way out of this game, keep a clean sheet, move on. 2 goals they've scored today, and that means they've got 39 now for the season. It hasn't been a great season, but they will actually, with those 2 goals, Alan, give themselves a level goal difference, so they're not in the negative anymore, which is good. Down the left come Anthony, and Manchester United with Casemiro in the centre waiting for the pass. The cross by Anthony was delayed too long, and when he did eventually do it, he played it against Branthwaite and it went out for a corner over on the far side. A few Manchester United supporters have seen enough. They think sufficient work has been done here, and that their team will be going back to the regions of Manchester with 3 points in the back pocket.
And, you know, thoroughly entertained, you know, regardless of the errors that Man United have made today in possession. You know, it's been an entertaining game, no doubt about that.
Dallow edge of the box, sends the ball towards the near corner, and it's a shot on target which Pickford has to save, but it's a simple one from about 20 yards from Diogo Dallow. And it's cleared away. It has been an entertaining game.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's been good to have your company with us live on Talksport.
Very kind of you to say so.
This is the first time we've done a game together since we went to Paris, isn't
Correct.
it? And that was
good.
You're listening to Manchester United 2, Everton 0 on Talksport with Super 6. Predict 6 correct scores in this weekend's action, and you could win £500,000 without spending a penny. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Throw in far side, and it's going to be chucked in by Dallow into Amrabat, gets it back to his goalkeeper. Manchester United about to record their 10th win at home this season from 20 games in all competitions. Season tickets don't come with guaranteed victories, but there will be a few United fans who are expecting to see a few more than that, I think, this campaign. Here is McTominay, played in by Casemiro, out towards the left, and he helps it on to Fernandes now, who runs up to the edge of the box, feeds it out to Dallow. It's behind everybody, comes back to Fernandes, strikes it against the defender. Got a little bit lucky to get his shot away there, Fernandes, and it goes out of play and away for a corner kick. Fernandes gives Dallow a little bit of a rollicking.
Casemiro done great there. He's had a good game today, Casemiro. You know, he's come here, obviously has a massive history behind him, and there's been criticism of him with some performances, but he's been very, very good today, and that's important for next week's victory in particular, because if they're going to win that game, he'll be a key to that.
Amrabat receives it from the short corner, which Rashford and Fernandes have designed over on the far side. We've got about 1 minute and 10 seconds to play. United fans going home satisfied, and Everton fans, I think, will be a little bit concerned, because the problems that they have seem to be repeating themselves on a regular basis. At some point they're going to have to do something. I'm not sure what it is that they've got to do, but something has to change, otherwise their fate is going to end up being a very difficult one, and any points deduction they get now could end up being fatal.
Absolutely. And you look at them on paper, and you know, and some performances that have been here today have been excellent, and they look a good team on paper, but it's just not being delivered in results just recently, and the goal scoring is a massive factor
in the Premier League.
Team.
You can't go 11 games without a win. Here's Rashford, played in by Fernandes, inside the area. The challenge comes in, a third penalty. Jared Branthwaite. Oh, the offside flag's going to go up. And spare his blushes. Well, they're going to check it. They are going to check it, because initially he gave a penalty there, the referee, and then he was alerted to the offside, and now they're just checking that to see whether or not VAR agree. Otherwise, there is going to be a penalty. I think the VAR has said yes, the offside flag shall stand just. Oh, it was tight.
Very tight. And that would have been the third goal, because it was a definite penalty. He just took his legs away. Rashford did well there. Just cut back on it.
You almost got your third goal there, didn't you?
Yeah, well, lost me money.
Ball cleared upfield towards Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. And again, another defeat for Everton. It's been a long time now. Manchester United end their losing run with victory over an Everton side that are now going to go a quarter of a year between wins. After a solid start to the season, Everton's situation has got worse and worse very, very quickly. By the time they play their next match in the Premier League, there is a good chance that Everton could be in the relegation zone, and that's before they've had any more points deducted. The story of this game was the story of their season. Chances, yes. Goals, no. Manchester United got 2 penalties in the first half. Garnacho was terrific, dispatched by Fernandes and then by Marcus Rashford. And Old Trafford, which has seen too many bad days this season, has seen a good one today. For Manchester United at least. It's finished Manchester United 2, Everton 0.
Brilliant stuff. We'll look at that game in a second, but there's been a huge goal in the Sky Bet Championship. 8 minutes of added time over on Talksport 2 was given between Cardiff and Ipswich, with Ipswich leading by a goal to nil. But Cardiff have a 95th minute equaliser thanks to Ryan Wintle. Quickest to react to a rebound and tapped in from close range. Kieran McKenna's side look like they may have dropped 2 points right at the death. So Enzo Maresco's Leicester rubbing their hands with glee as they head for Hull, and that is where Adrian Durham is going to be stationed today for Game Day Live. Alan Pardew, how do you sum up that game? Do you feel as if Manchester United were best in class today?
Well, I wouldn't be pleased if I was a Man United manager today with the control of the game. They didn't have any kind of control. There was always moments where Everton could have scored or mistakes were made. Even at the end, leading 2-0, Johnny Evans plays it back to the goal and it goes out for a corner. That can't really happen at this level. And if you're going to play Liverpool, there's got to be a lot of tightening up in that team between now and next Saturday or Sunday when the game is. Having said that, at the top of the pitch they were sharp. Rashford looked, on it, looked like he's got goals in him. Fernandes was better today. Garnacho was the man of the match. So, I'd be pleased with the top end of the pitch. The back four, the midfield, the distances in terms of controlling and passing and keeping the ball, not very good.
They got away with it a little bit, didn't they? Because Everton had so many chances, but I really do feel we could have stayed here for another 90 minutes and Sean Dyche's side wouldn't have got the ball in the back of the net.
It's it's one of those ones like, if I had to go down now and see Sean, I'd say, Sean, I don't know, he ain't scored, and he'll say, yeah, that's what my coach is saying to me every week, and actually, when that is happening, you do need to make a change, because something needs to, even when he put Gomez on, it's the different look to the team. He's got his different type of player. It doesn't really fit into the way Sean sets his team up, and I think something like that needs to happen. Just mix it up a little bit, maybe change the formation a little bit, try and get that goal. Because it doesn't matter now how it comes, you just need any goal.
Yeah, but Sam Matterface has that honour to go and speak to Sean Dyche and hear his thoughts on the match. He'll also be speaking to Eric Ten Hag, and you'll hear both of those interviews on Talksport in the next half an hour or so before everything kicks off across the country. You mentioned Alejandro Garnacho there, and actually that tees me in nicely because I have a feeling who you might pick for our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Do you know what, Alan? You might not have picked Alejandro Garnacho, but the way you were talking for me, and you did actually say he was my man of the match. So, without wanting to put words in your mouth.
No, I think it's fairly obvious, and I think 90% of the crowd here today would have picked him out because he just had that extra bit of technical quality today that created the penalties, but also his general all-round performance defensively was really sound today. When you got a wide player in the system that they play, Man United, your wide player has to defend. And we know that all this criticism of Rashford, and he did it again start second half today. He wasn't great, his defensive work, but Garnacho was sound all the way down his side, and every time it come to him, something was going to happen, and quite rightly, he goes home with the trophy, and you can put words in my mouth, he's absolutely right. Garnacho, man of the match.
Do you know the only thing that frustrates me about him, and he's only young, so I know this will come, his finishing is just not good enough, but everything else that he does, says me, the the non-forward.
Well, let me say something. With young players like him, that finishing is always that last bit. I had Will Zaha And everyone tried to criticise Will for years about his finishing. But suddenly he got it, and he started scoring goals regularly for Palace. Garnacho's that good. Once he gets his full confidence and he's an established figure here, that will improve for sure.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure to have your company, Alan.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Go get your Enterprise car back down.
Yes.
Back down south. That was our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.